It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
No. You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
Then we're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person. They're coming to get me.
I'm like a bodyguard. I'm getting you out of this.
Take care of her.
I promise. Seatbelts.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for The Creator in theaters on September 29th. It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. And I've got my man Glenn Lawrence, the brother that levels me up. How are you, sir?
I'm doing just phenomenal, man. I'm really excited to talk about this film, The Creator. We were super excited to watch it, even though they did a pump fake on us. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk about it.
You say you bring up pump fake. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, when they
in case they're not tracking, we got to bring up to people to speak. You're expecting people to know what's going on already. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So they had a screening for this film because, you know, a lot of people were very excited to see it. But the initial screening that they had was only a preview of the film. And everybody who came out to see it wanted to see the whole film, but it was only like a scene from it. So, you know, it was like a little pump fake, but we finally got to see it on the Humble, you know what I mean? They brought us through, got us to check out the film, and I'm hyped to talk about it because I think it opened up a lot of doors here, man. I don't know. I'm kind of hyped to talk about it.
All right, but to clarify, because I did actually go see it. You were supposed to join me. It wasn't the full film, and I think that's what kind of upset you a little bit. But you didn't even make it out. What we did get was 3 scenes from it. So I already kind of had those scenes in my mind when I got to finally see the full piece. And then we also had a Q&A with Gareth Edwards, which, you know, while it was a pump fake, it was pretty cool and it got us enticed. But I think what also made it special was the Q&A with Gareth, and he could talk about his influences of what made the film. And you and I both know as filmmakers, that's always very interesting to see where they pull from and also get more of the exploration of the behind the scenes of how they made the film, which I can't wait to dive in even more, especially when this releases on Blu-ray and we get those special features and that additional content. Because, you know, film industry cast, man, we love everything about the making of it and then the actual projects. So pump fake for you, because I know you wanted to be there, but you didn't make it. So just to give some more scenario, because we did have that. I did give a little 2 cents first look. But with that being said, you and I got to see the screening in advance. We'll talk about it now. Let's start with just initial thoughts. Did we do the trailer reaction together on this one?
Yeah, we did. And if you remember from the trailer reaction, when we first saw it, we were like, whoa, this wasn't even on our radar. And it looked amazing. We were like, yo, what is this film? Like, now we're hyped to see it because we weren't even ready. And we didn't even know, we didn't know anything about the film. So seeing the trailer made us be like, great concept, high concept. It looks really, really interesting. It's got John David Washington in there, and Gemma Chan and all these other people that are just amazing actors. So that initially, just that trailer was really, really riveting and made us wanted to go check it out. And then we did.
All right. So yeah. So you were in love with the trailer, as was I. And then to point out, you mentioned the actors. Let's also give shine to Gareth Edwards, the director on it, as well as the writer on this, man. He was amazing with what he gave us with Rogue One, kind of giving like a very grounded Star Wars with Rogue One that seems very real and very more recent than the other Star Wars felt like. The other ones felt far, far away in another galaxy or long away in another. I know I'm fucking up right now. I'm going to lose my nerd card. But with Rogue One, it felt very rooted, like it could have happened not too far from Earth and shit, right? Because it felt so, like current to our timeline. And he brought a lot of that with the creator. And just one of the things I found really special when I did the first look and to the Q&A, this brother does a lot of great research. Which is what I think one of the best parts of filmmaking, when you can really dive into and mine the material that you're looking to bring about. But what's scary about all that is, he chose AI, is just how close AI has come when he started doing the research to what they were trying to do with his film, and just how now current reality is with AI. I think that's one of the most terrifying aspects of this whole project. Let's go ahead. I don't want to go too long because we're also pressed for time for our review tonight. Let's talk about the story and then our eventual thoughts. But let's just talk story real quick. What did you think of the storyline of this? AI becoming aware, maybe things happen that we got to go against humans, and that's what we're all seeing from the trailer. Everybody saw the trailer a second ago. What did you think of this basic story for this? And then John David Washington, this little robot that may be a weapon. What did you think about all this?
When we talk about the story for a film, especially something like this that is current day, it's happening, it has to deal with the future, where we're going, where we are as a society. I kind of wanted to see more of AI's effect on society. Like, I feel like we kind of jumped in and we're just going, you know what I mean? Which was great. What we had, it was action packed. It was really interesting. It was rooted in, in their relationship or whatever. But aside from that relationship, I wanted to see like what the effects and what the day-to-day is, because we really just jump right into it. Like, from Jump Street, it's just going, America's, or I guess it would be America has created some, like, it has this war. It's like going to war with AI, for lack of a better description, and we're trying to figure out how to do it. And throughout the film, it's talking about those tropes of like, should humanity be fighting AI? Should we be integrating with it? How we should be interacting with it? And I thought those things were handled well. However, I just wanted to see a little bit more of how AI would be interacting with us, how it gets integrated, the different things that would happen, and not so much on the war front, because I think a lot of what we had was on the war fighting front, but I don't think we got a lot of like interpersonal with the AI, or as much as I would have wanted. I feel like everything that was there, though, people are going to eat it up. People are going to really love it. But I've been thinking about this for a while, so maybe I just want more, because I've been thinking about like AI and how it's interacting with humanity for like a long time. So I'm like, what? Tell me more. So that might be just a personal gripe or whatever. But I wanted just a little bit more of insight into society with this story. But it's the basic story of us finding humanity, finding something, finding value in something that, in like a loss that we've had. The story is John David Washington loses a child very early, and then he's left to wander, and then he gets tasked with a mission to find this, the secret weapon that AI is creating that is supposed to be coming to destroy us all. He accepts that mission, and then he's basically finds that there's a child that he has to escort. And throughout the film, we get an idea of this man trying to redeem his humanity and redeem himself, and make up for that loss that he had suffered at the beginning of the film. I thought they did an amazing job of putting all that together. So on the small scale, I thought it was amazing in terms of the interpersonal relationships. But on the larger scale, I just wanted to see how AI like interacted with society a little bit more. I don't know. Did you feel the same thing, or were you feeling a little bit differently than I?
I did feel differently.
Okay.
But respect to you. I see your point. I think that would I think that would be more involving a series.
Yeah.
For the build out of what you want. But this is a feature length film. They only have X amount of time, and I think the intention was this war, and they stayed to that, which is fine. I feel you, and I would love to see what you said, and that would be a great series. Maybe we can get that down the line. That would be wonderful. I would definitely love to see it. But the intention of this being the story, I hear your point. We love. Well, we're gonna get to our complete thoughts later.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love to see all of that. But for this intention, I think they did what they needed to do and they succeeded. I will correct that in regards to the storyline, his intention was always to find the weapon. He fell in love that led to him leaving out and not being a part of that mission anymore.
Right.
And then he finds himself back into the mission in regards to that love sequence, and then so on and so forth. Just to clean up that.
Right.
For you.
You know what? I did forget that his initial mission was to get it. Like that's how much I got wrapped up in the story of him and his love and like the lost child that I forgot that. Oh, I forgot too that his initial mission was supposed to be to find the weapon. Good looking out. Good
no point. Worries. But I also did see the first look too. So I had a little bit of both. I had like 3 big story pieces that I got before this one. It was only a little bit more than I needed. So it's all love to you, bro. Great story. I think I'm trying not to spoil, but there's great moments and great ways that they utilize existing history to kind of give something to make it relatable. There was a big thing that happened with the US and getting into the World War that they kind of played off of to make the entry happen into this war that we see against AI, that I thought was really well done to kind of physically, mentally get people into the vibe of what is occurring in this. And then just amazing. I'll save this for another part. We'll get into the I'm trying to be careful. But story. Let me get into the box. First, I was worried about you going sideways, Glenn. I'm going sideways to like keep things frameworked into our review structure. But storyline was amazing. I really liked that the theme of this, man against AI, they didn't really go one side or the other. Although our main characters kind of, have their definite path that we travel with our main characters, they kind of just presented this, AI versus man. This is why the man are fighting this way. This is why AI are this way. You choose your path on that, and really how I guess you were raised to where you want to go on your whole concept of that. They really leave it to that. They don't lend, like I would say Terminator does, in one way to the other. You know what I'm saying? Where they clear delineation of hero villain. This concept of evolution and AI and man is, here's the bare bones. This is why this happened. This is why this happened. This is why things might be confused. You get presented the facts and you just kind of choose your way along this mission. I just think really well done and so thought provoking that I hope this leads into the conversation, because like I said earlier, this thing of AI, where we're at now with society, where we could go with this is fucking scary. But we'll go more into that with some review stuff. Let's go into just our actors and crew. I want to go there before we give our straight complete thought in regards to like a review style of just, overall, I loved it, hated it. What do you think of let's start with the cast. John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Ken Watanabe, young, amazing new star who played our Alfie, this young robot, Madeline Voiles. What did you think of our cast, Glenn?
I thought they were good, especially Madeline. She was very, very compelling as the child of this, and I thought that was done really well. John David Washington, I thought that he did a good job. As a grieving parent going in trying to locate this child or whatever. I always feel like, listen, this is no slight to him, I always feel like he's holding back a little something, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's there, but I feel like he is holding back just a little bit of realness that I want to see him tap into. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's a part of him that I want to see a little bit more of folded into the character that he's playing. And I don't know what it is. There's just like a little thing that I feel like he's holding back sometimes from. So I don't know if you got that too, but I felt that Gemma Chan thought was great as Maya, the mother, and Ken Watanabe, very, very solid actor. I thought he did a great job. And then Allison Janney, who was like the colonel, how she goes out there very menacing, you know what I mean, as the person who's in charge, running things, going after this. But also I thought very kind of no nonsense in terms of like, hey, this is what we got to do, this is like the mission. And it wasn't like over the top villain type thing, you know what I mean? Like, okay, that was like that was too much, you know what I mean? Like the villain now has got to kill everything. It seemed very like directed, very rooted in trying to accomplish something, believing in something, and trying to save what she thought was necessary. I really liked it. I really like what they put together here. Everybody worked well. Everybody played off each other well. I did feel the love between John David Washington and Gemma Chan, as the parents, especially early on in the film. Thought they did an amazing job. It was a fun ride and nothing really took me out of it. But John David Washington, I feel like there's just like a little, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but you hold him just a little something back. I don't know. What about you, man? What you think?
I'll tag on to that, man. I echo all of those sentiments. Ken Watanabe, legend. Gemma Chan, brilliant. Young star Madeline killed it. Allison Janney killed it. Super dope. I will say I completely agree with you in regards to John David Washington. There's something slightly missing there, to be straight up honest. Like there's points where and just the emotional roller coaster that this film is, I think, where it gives you moments you want to cry, but I don't think there's something there that with John doesn't get you over that threshold to make those tears come down.
Yeah.
I felt it with Madeline. There's a special scene in there because, you and I are both fathers.
Yeah.
That Madeline killed it. But I wanted something to be seen on John's face. It didn't give it to me. So yeah, everyone else killed it, but John, I would have to say, would be the weakest there. But I will say, of all the John David Washington films I've seen, this is his best acting thus far. I gotta give it to him this one.
For sure, 100%. Yeah. I would totally agree. I believe he can get there.
I believe he can get there.
Yeah, for sure, for certain. You know what though? I don't know if you ever saw Ballers. Did you ever see Ballers with The Rock?
No.
And then he plays.
I know the show. I know what you're talking about.
He plays like the receiver or whatever. There's some great acting in there. That is where I first was like introduced to him, and those roles I felt like were very, very real. And I feel like it may be because that is something that he's like more comfortable with and more like knowledgeable of. You know what I mean? Like that world, kind of rolling in that world. Superstardom, entertainment, sports. Like so he's just like real comfortable being that. And I feel like in some of the roles, it's like he's playing the role and not letting the role kind of be expressed through him, if that makes sense.
Completely.
Like he's playing the role instead of like letting it flow through him. Whereas in Ballers, it was very much like the role was flowing through him. Like you very much felt like he's this superstar, wide receiver that is trying to get his like you felt it all through him because he's privy to that type of world. And I think that might have made it a little bit easier for him. But there's something in this where he's playing a character that he hasn't necessarily interacted, so he doesn't know that character. So there's just a little thing that's like missing. And I felt the same way in Tenet when we're watching that, because he's playing like a character that he might not have as much familiarity with, so he's trying to manufacture something where as opposed to letting that character flow through him. Agreed 100% on that. That's it. That's the I here's where like this is why you and I get along, man. Like everything was great, but there's just like this one little thing with him. Yeah, that would have, if he would have been there, it would have been put it over the edge. Yeah, but it's like you can't put your finger on it. It's like it's not that it's like bad act. It's like perfect. It's perfectly fine. It's great or whatever. It's serviceable. There's like some there's like one, I don't know, there's some emotionality, some connection point that I feel like I'm missing with it. And I don't, and again, I don't want to say it like I'm hating. I'm like, I love seeing him. I think he's like very, very
getting them wins, bro. Keep getting them wins. But yeah,
man. But I want to see him in more things, because I think the more he does it, the more he's gonna get in there. But I just think that would be the only critique that I had, is there like, and I think we pinpointed, it's like, yeah, because in Ballers he's like really solid. Like, what is it that is missing? And I think that when he's playing these characters that are foreign to how he's lived, how he's grown up, or whatever, what he's been around, what he's experienced, I feel like there's a bit of it that he's playing the character as opposed to letting the character be found through him. So but all in all, I still think you should see it. I still think it's solid. I still think it's like very interesting. My gripes are in no shape, form, or fashion a critique on how well the film was done or put together, man. I thought it was solid. I really walked out enjoying it. We're gonna get to that.
You're moving too fast on me, Glenn.
I know.
We now gotta. So we were talking cast. Now we're gonna go crew. Gareth Edwards, writer director on this, and just the amazing cinematography. Let's talk specifically to the way it was shot. All of that. Let me get your take real quick on that, and then we'll give our thoughts. We'll go there.
Yeah, I love the way that the landscapes looked. It did have it felt very I don't know if you know Neil Blomkamp, like Chappie and District 9. It had that type of feel, but also mixed with Star Wars. So, of course Gareth Edwards, that makes a lot of sense or whatever. But that was the feeling that I got from a lot of kind of the set designs and a lot of the looks. I thought it was like really interesting seeing the Nomad, the spaceship, or the interorbital ship that was that's flying around, very menacing. I thought that design was very, very solid. I will say they felt like blowing up things a lot. Like, I can't count how many times they blew up a major city. That's a lot of bombs that they're dropping on major cities, like exploding them. But I think they have fun with it. But I thought the set design was dope. I thought the robots were dope. I thought the AI and the androids were also really, really solid. The whole prosthetics that they were using for for if someone had their arm or whatever chopped off, I thought that design looked good. Yeah, man, all the different robots that they had, all the functions that the robots that they had were pretty cool. And Alfie, I thought, was solid, man. So I thought they did a great job in terms of like set design, costume design, landscape design, the design of like the spaceships and everything. The design of the weapons was very, very cool. So I give it all a thumbs up. I thought, again, impeccable, man. Solid. What about you? What are you thinking?
Insane. I think Gareth Edwards is a beast, man. Did you see Rogue One?
I did.
And you said Star Wars. The man delivered with Rogue. This was essentially, again, Rogue One, and then taking even more lessons from what he learned. When I went to the Q&A and first look, he went to a shit ton of countries, and most of this stuff was done with a small crew. And then they did some additional virtual effects, and then like painted the backdrops. Very little green screen, if any. Like all on location in like 30 or 40 different fucking countries they went. Absolutely brilliant. I think Gareth Edwards is insane. Just so amazingly shot. Sound design. I felt everything. And you and I went to a Dolby screening. Insane. You felt every moment. Maybe a little too much that you actually thought you were on the battlefield, because I don't know about you, bro. I was all over my seat. Like, goddamn. Like, when is it going to stop? Can we get up out this war? I'm done. I'm old.
Yeah.
But
right.
Amazingly in scope, in visuals, just brilliant. I just astounding. I do want to give a slight little hint here, y'all, that I'm working on talking to the virtual effects supervisor of the creator, who's with Industrial Light and Magic, for a future interview for the NRW. Stay tuned. Hint real quick for those watching this review right now that I'm going to give you some more creator content with an interview with the VFX supervisor. But brilliant, amazing. Let's head over to now our thoughts. You were trying to get there, Glenn. You're always so excited. You want to give your full thoughts, overall thoughts, feels. Do you want? Was the one critique John David Washington, or is there another critique that you may have, and then whatever any other pluses you want to say in regards to the creator, bro?
You know what? If you had to just cut this out and get my thoughts on what the creator was and how good it was, I would say go see it. I really liked it. They've done an amazing job. It'll make you think. It'll make you want more. And I feel like all of the critiques that I was talking about before with John David Washington and the film in terms of what it says about society and how society interacts with AI is all me saying I want more of this. And so if that's any indication, you should definitely go see it because the creator is solid. It'll have you at the edge of your seat. It'll have you excited. It'll have you really thinking about the world around us and how it's changing and what that means and what it's going to become. But with all that being said, definitely a must go see. It's solid. You will like it. You'll enjoy it. And I think it'll make you think.
Dude, all right. Simply for me, I was saying, I said this on WTOP. Stay tuned for y'all. I'm talking about this. Definitely my entertainment pick on WTOP. Top 10 sci-fi films of all time for me. If not top 5, if not top 3, brother.
Wow.
I really enjoyed this goddamn film, bro.
That's
and the only thing critique that you hit the nail on the head was John David Washington. I think he's absolutely amazing, but he's in the best performance I've seen from him. But there's just times of emotionality, right? That I think they wanted us to feel with him, but I half want to blame it on the script. Although the script is phenomenal, and maybe, and like you said, we wanted more because I think the timing was right. The beats of the story worked, but I think there's parts where we needed to feel John more with, he connected with, I think I would have loved to have more when him and Jenna, he's initially on the hunt for Nirmata, this major villain that's responsible for AI. He falls in love, then that leads into then him leaving from that to then, going off and then finding out that they need him back to find Nirmata again. That just, we go back and forth in regards to his desires and because he's torn between mission and love, which I think is also very real too. Right. Having served, loving US, but also knowing how fucked up the US is. And then also in this film too, I felt that what I really enjoyed about this film as well is America's fucking fucked up. And of course, US would be the first to go over and want to attack Japan and be the ones to stop AI without thinking about things. And of course, we wanted to cover shit up. Let me not spoil shit. But, to just, it played off of a lot of what we know about US history, man. And just, but then, there's good and bad about that. You know what I'm saying? As much as I know that we have problems here in the US, there's no other country I'd rather want to live in, there's just a lot of things that I think this brings up and I think is done very well in this script. And then to add this whole AI element and then, we're currently in SAG-AFTRA strikes as a SAG-AFTRA actor. And I fear what's happening with and WGA felt that thankfully, as of this recording, they found a deal where, they were saying we'll just have AI write the shit. Fucking scary as hell. Bots write the shit. Scary as hell. But we can not have to worry about background actors. So there's so much things with AI that's very that I'm in tune with. I know you as well. You and I talk about things in science and the world, jobs, automation, in certain respect, I think, yes, we should. There's certain jobs that can be done well for safety reasons, but then there's something about humanity's touch in things and construction and all that. Man, again, I say all that to this makes you think, and you said this as well. I look forward to the conversations, man. I was dying to have conversations with you about this, but you and I had to get home, and I know we'll probably have some conversations about this. Like you, I would love to have it more fleshed out, but I think the point of this was to just present this war. If we can get stories from out of this, I'm all for it, man. A series would be great. Sequel, prequel, give it to me, man. This joint, man, top 3, bro.
Okay.
The more I think about it, strong. I also want to say, for those that love anime, this is like a fucking anime brought to life, man. Lone Wolf and Cub, just the visuals set in Asia. One thing that I will say, as the resident Asian here right now, one of the biggest concerns I was worried about was Asian representation in this, and just not having, a sci-fi story, Americans, violence, and just have countless Asians die. Countless Asians died up in this because it is set in Asia and there's this war happening, but just how that plays into the presentation and culture and story and everything like that. that's very important to me on how Asians are represented, because there's been a lot of misrepresentation and a lot of evil that Hollywood studios can do there as well that I was worried about. But I would say this respected in ways and also gave life in a lot of different ways. So I was happy with it at the end of the day. But that was a concern that I was happy to see. There was an all-encompassing story with that looked at the negatives and the positives. Great fucking film, bro. This was great. Yeah.
Solid, man. Yeah, solid. 100%. I you know what? I don't know if I'm putting it in my top 3 of all time.
What's your top 3 then? Give it to me then. What can't muscle in there? Let me know what's in the top 3.
Demolition Man, Fifth Element, and what is like the
Star Wars not even in there? Like all Star Wars?
Star Wars is, I don't know. Star Wars kind of is it's like because there's so many of them, it almost gets its own place. It's almost unfair to put that, because they've built a world.
Just batch it all together.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I would throw like Star Wars all in there. Star Trek, but that was like a series. The movies were trash. You know, there. What else was really good? I know I'm missing one, and it's gonna come to me later. But this definitely is solid. I don't know if it's top 5. I think it would be top 10 in terms of what I liked. You know, there's some things that I couldn't get over. Here's one thing that I did talk about, and it was like towards the end where they're like running around or whatever, and there's like the field or whatever, and they had to go through. I was like, how close is this? Where is this field that is centrally located?
I am so happy you brought that up, because that is, dude, I almost forgot about that. That's another thing that I couldn't wait to talk to you about. Let's talk on that real quick. Spoilers. We're dropping this when it's already out, or maybe I might have it like it's gonna be out by the time y'all watch this, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So ain't no fucking way that Alfie made it all the way to this joint. My brother went to this joint from bro.
All intended
disbelief. They were solid up until the very end, bro.
Yeah, until I was like, what? Because
there's no like, fucking way.
You know what? There were some other things like throughout that were kind of slipping, but I was like, I'll just, you know what I mean, let it go. And then that point was like, all right, y'all are not paying attention right now, because they had 10 minutes, and then there was like 2 minutes, but she had already ran like the length of this humongous shit.
And dragging somebody,
and then he was in the thing that was like blowing up, but then like could run back to the. So I was like, what? But then I was like, all right, whatever, you know, just that's fine. But there was one point. This goes to, you know, the acting thing of it. Like when we're doing spoilers now, right? I just want to make sure
we're closing it out anyway.
When he's releasing her, you know what I mean? Like, you know, go on, like, okay. And there's like a moment there, which I think I felt like he had come to terms with, like, no, I got to let you go. And he's like, okay with it. And then like she goes, but then after she goes, he's like, no. And I'm like, wait, that, like, I felt like that kind of cheapened the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it would have been much more powerful if he was like resigned to that, and then he's going to go see his wife, as opposed to like the outward cry, like, oh no, I just, you know, the reaching out or whatever. And that was just like a small thing. But again, these are all nitpicks. In the end, I think they gave us exactly what we wanted in terms of like a awesome sci-fi. It's in your top 3. It's probably in my top 10. I can't think of 10 more movies that are, you know, science fiction or future based that I like more, but I don't think it's in my top 5. It's somewhere from 6 to 10, I think. But I really like it. I like what they were thinking about. I like what they were doing with it. You know, I enjoyed it, man. It was a solid ride. But there are a couple of things that you'll be like, come on now.
So to that point that you were saying, there's a situation where when he lets go of Alfie, we say goodbye there, and then that's where, you know, we should be saying goodbye to Joshua, but then there's this sequence that you say in a field that made absolutely no sense. I felt that was straight up the studio saying we got to give a better goodbye. Mm-hmm. It would have stayed on, even though there's nonsensical in regards to the Alfie getting in one place or the other. I'll give them that. But what I would have preferred is, as Joshua finally says his goodbye to Alfie, he should have passed away in that place that he was at. And then maybe as he's closing his eyes, we didn't kind of fade bubble to him kind of walking in a field. And then we see a kind of a goodbye there. It just didn't make no sense that he would go from that position to this field. There was no transition there. It made no sense. They did a slight setup earlier that, in there. And, when people watch this, if they haven't seen this yet, sorry, y'all, we're spoiling now, but we gave you warning earlier. There's just that transition as a writer. And, it just made no sense. I would have preferred it more thematically, because there's no, he could have fucking gotten there to there. Like let him like go. And then we like wake up from that dream to him, his last thoughts.
Yeah. I think it would have been easy if we just didn't see the time.
Or just cut it at all. Well, I think Gareth probably would have wanted it there, but that felt like a studio move because that's Hollywood shit.
Yeah, but I think the problem was that they showed us the clock multiple times during like the countdown sequence of when things are about to explode.
That's why it was fucked earlier with the whole thing with Alfie. It made no sense, bro.
But if they didn't show the clock, you would have just forgot about how much time it takes to do all these things and been like, oh well, maybe it did take that amount of time. But they're constantly showing you the clock, and you're just like, wait, there's no way that only took 2 minutes.
That's why the whole ending kind of doesn't work.
But I will say this: I did like the fact that she found the simulant, you know what I mean, and was trying to, or the replicant, or whatever they're calling them, and uploaded the last minutes of consciousness to the. But I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool that they brought that back.
But they didn't play that right. They tried to make that play with that ending part, and that didn't work.
I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see something different, or maybe like have Alfie have the mom's on her necklace and then also get his on, and then later she's playing both of those so that they can interact, you know what I mean, in their last moments of like consciousness or something. I don't know. I agree with you. I thought that it was a little bit interesting. They could have did a little something different there. But again,
it would have been if both of them could have had it together.
Yeah, 1 minute, and then the Alfie, and then I think because you would see the AI living on and carrying on like kind of human characteristics or whatever, and it kind of humanizes as opposed to the AI having these parents that kind of have birthed it and like just being sent back to the world without a connection to them. Like I think holding on to that connection through those memories I thought would have been really, really important. Also, she's AI. Why don't she just upload it into herself and then replicate it so she always had the parents with But again, we're getting into the weeds in terms of like the story and whatnot, but we really like the story. It's really, really cool. You could nitpick any story to death and say this was this was bad, but this is great. I think they put together something amazing. It looks really, really good. And I think all of our critiques, once again, are because we want like more of this. And I think the creator, the world that it created, I think could live on. I think that it could have multiple singles and like a television show or like a series that people could follow, because it's a great immersive world that they've created.
All right, there you go, y'all. Those are our thoughts. I think we can go on super long on this. Again, in the top three, real quickly, again, I batched Star Trek together. I batched Star Wars together. So those are easy 1 and 2 for me. I got to say. So, again, this is Back to the Futures are in there. Blade Runners are in there. Dunes are in there. Creator is amazing. I'm wanting to say top 3. I'm wanting to say top 5. Definitely in the top 10. I got to think more on breaking down my list. Maybe we'll have to do a sci-fi list with y'all. Me and Glenn.
Well, what about Interstellar? Genres. What about Interstellar?
That one's up there too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. We'll save that for another show, Glenn. We'll have to come up with some lists and like give people some of our inputs on some good genre type films.
Oh, Ex Machina. Ex Machina was solid. Like that. So, that's got to go in my top.
So save it, Glenn. Save it. You're
I know.
You're ready for it. We'll give y'all more content with that. But there you go. Creator, thumbs up, I think, across the board from both Glenn and I. Glenn, let's sign off out of here. Let people know how they can reach out to you, what you got going on, and if they want to talk all things creator, how they can reach out to you.
I don't know when this is coming out, but if it's before September 30th, I will be out at Bar Louie, I think in Stonebridge, the Potomac Center. We're doing a show. It's for veterans. You know what? I just show up to these places and I do my. I don't know what the name of the thing is. It was for veterans or whatever, but it's at the Stonebridge Plaza out in Woodbridge, Virginia. I'll be doing some minutes there, and then you can see me all over the DMV. Check me out at levelupcomedy.com. Glenn Levels Up on Twitter or X, and Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG.
There you go. Show love to Glenn. Go get your laugh on with him and level up. For your boy Kuya P, it's the legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Blue Sky, and of course here with Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Those are our thoughts on the creator. Is it in your sci-fi top 10, top 5, top 3? I want to know in the comments below. Glenn and I will be back to give you more thoughts on other films, hopefully some top 10 lists in various genres. There's a lot to talk about, man. And stay tuned. Like I said, you heard it here first. More creator content. Hopefully the VFX supervisor on creator, who's with ILM. Stay tuned for that interview. I'm working on it right now, y'all, as of this recording too. Stay tuned. Your boy Kuya P, Glenn Lawrence. We out. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Kuya P, right outside AMC Tyson's Corner. Just got out of a first look for the creator, y'all. Not the whole film. We saw like 3 different scenes, and I just wanted to just tell y'all need to get your tickets when it gets ready to drop, man. It's like Gareth Edwards, the director on this, man. He did Godzilla, Rogue One. Dude's a beast. Dude's crazy. The visuals, insane. Hans Zimmer is gonna be on the music, man. Described as Blade Runner meets Apocalypse Now, a little bit of Lone Wolf and Cub, a little bit of Baraka, if you know that. Fire. From what I saw, amazing. I wanted more. I was really hoping I'd get the whole screening now, but we just got 3 scenes, and I'll talk more when I do see it. We'll do all the things on that, man. But get your tickets. This was a dope first look. The creator coming very soon, y'all. Your boy Kuya P. What's going on, world? It's your boy Kuya P, and Glenn Lawrence just got out of the press screening for the creator. Dropping our initial thoughts. Glenn, what you think, bro?
I have thoughts. I'm gonna get fully into the review, but overall, I did enjoy it. It's fun. It's a thrill ride. It's action packed. Yeah, my man John David Washington, solid. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I enjoyed it.
We're going to be dropping a full review, so make sure you subscribe on the NRW. I'll be talking about it all on WTOP-FM Radio as well. Definitely my pick for this week. Oh. Amazing, man. We're going to get into it.
So they created something special.
They created something special. Okay. And don't forget about Mother. All right, y'all. Much respect to our mothers out there. Your boy Glenn Lawrence, your boy Kuya P, NRW. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the things. NRW.